What if I told you one of the most practical family cars in Europe is getting a globe for 2026? And it might quietly be one of the smartest budget vehicles on the planet. The refreshed Dacia Jogger isn't trying to be flashy, but it might just outsmart everything in its class. Welcome back to Motorscope, your front row seat to the cars shaping tomorrow. Today, we're diving into the 2026 facelift of the Jogger Journey. A car that blends SUV attitude, wagon practicality, and minivan versatility into one seriously underrated package. We'll break down the design, interior, performance, tech, and whether it could finally make a case for US buyers. Stick around, because the verdict might surprise you. Let's start with the exterior. Because this facelift is subtle but smart, Dacia didn't reinvent the Jogger, they refined it. Up front, you get a sharper grille with the updated Dacia emblem, flanked by slimmer LED headlights that give it a more modern, confident look. The front bumper has been slightly reworked for a tougher stance, leaning more into that SUV-inspired identity along the sides. The Jogger still carries its long roofline and raised ride height, which is key to its identity. New alloy wheel designs and updated color options bring a bit more personality, especially on the Journey trim. Around back, changes are minimal clean taillights and a practical wide-opening tailgate remain. It's not flashy, but it's purposeful, and that's exactly the point. Inside is where the Jogger really shines, especially for families. The 2026 facelift upgrades materials slightly, with better seat fabrics and improved trim finishes, particularly on higher trims like the Journey. The layout stays simple and functional, which honestly works in its favor. You still get up to 7 seats, and that third row is actually usable not just for kids, but for adults on shorter trips. Flexibility is the name of the game here. Fold flat seats, tons of cargo space, and clever storage throughout the cabin. The infotainment system gets a modest upgrade too. Expect an 8-inch touchscreen with improved responsiveness. Plus, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, something US buyers would absolutely expect. Physical buttons for climate controls remain, which is a big win for USA BILITY.now. Performance. The Jogger isn't about speed, it's about efficiency and affordability. The 2026 model continues with a small turbocharged engine lineup, likely centered around a 1.0-liter 3-cylinder engine producing around 110 horsepower. It's not thrilling, but it's perfectly adequate for daily driving. There's also the hybrid option, which is where things get interesting. Borrowing tech from the Renault hybrid system, the Jogger Hybrid pairs a gasoline engine with an electric motor for better fuel efficiency and smoother city driving. Expect fuel economy in the range of 50 mpg combined. That's a huge plus. No all-wheel drive here, which might limit appeal in some US regions. But the raised ground clearance still gives it a bit of light off-road confidence. On the tech and safety front, the facelift brings the Jogger up to modern standards. You'll find features like automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and rear parking sensors. It's not overloaded with advanced driver assist systems, but it covers the essentials. One thing to keep in mind, Dacia's philosophy has always been about keeping costs low. So, don't expect luxury-level tech, but for the price, the value proposition is hard to beat. Speaking of price, this is where the Jogger really disrupts things. In Europe, the current model starts at under $20,000, even with the facelift and hybrid tech. You're likely looking at a range between $22,000 and $28,000 if it were to come to the US. And that's the big question. Will it? As of now, there's no official confirmation of a US release. But with growing demand for affordable, practical vehicles, the Jogger could absolutely find a niche, especially among families priced out of larger SUVs. So, here's the verdict. The 2026 Jogger Journey facelift isn't trying to compete with premium SUVs, and that's exactly why it works. It's practical, efficient, and refreshingly honest about what it offers. Pros? Incredible versatility, excellent fuel economy, especially in hybrid form, a price point that undercuts almost everything else with 3 rows. Cons: modest performance, basic interior compared to rivals, and the big one-in-certain US availability if it does make it stateside though. This could be a game changer for budget-conscious buyers who need space without the SUV price tag. This has been Motorscope, your source for tomorrow's cars today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.